has said in previous audios of mine, not all human beings have a soul. And also when they do, not all souls incarnating are wise and elevated. We all are on our evolution path. Because of the constant process of creation, there are many human vehicles at disposal, which of course are empty. They just possess the human characteristics given by their physical body, the personality, which is the emotional body, and the kind of brain they possess, given by the mental body. These empty vehicles get occupied by the souls and also by the different kind of subtle substances or even entities present in the invisible dimension. In creation, nothing gets destructed, but it remains in the space until it may become of any use, also by transforming it. What I'm talking about? Well, whatever has been thought, felt, imagined, even if it was just an initial something that has immediately been left behind, that just dropped, let's call it abortion, remains a subtle energy, floating in the universe with the only instinct to survive. Therefore, it is pushed, motivated, to aggregate with something resonating on its vibration. The group grants to each presence a more solid protection. The aggregation happens when there are similar frequencies which resonate within each other. So we may say that it is a kind of a natural law. In order to find a place to dwell and survive, these abortions, as I call them, may end up in any living form, a tree, an animal, or a human vehicle. The empty ones, or the ones who are already occupied by other entities or by souls. When there is some sort of resonance, there may be an aggregation. And in very heavy dark cases, we may speak of possession. As I already mentioned, this abortion may also happen that it gets captured by resonance to clusters of different but similar other abortions which have come together under the effect of their mutual resonance, becoming what in esotericism is defined as Egregore. And this is much heavier and potentially very dangerous. What is an Egregore? Shortly said, it is a collective group mind, and in occultism it refers to a thought entity formed by the clusters I have just talked about, or by people who share beliefs, emotions, worship, intention, and therefore are joined together in groups, even if they don't physically belong to any group, but in the invisible reality they do. And therefore, in the invisible reality, they create an egregore. When a group of people come together with a shared goal, even if they are not physically connected, they create a powerful energy field that takes on a life on its own, for the better or for the worst. In fact, when an egregore is formed, the single person is not anymore an individual thinking being. It belongs to that specific thought field, thought entity, the egregore, who pushes towards goals determined by the kind of energy, whether positive or negative, they all belong to. In the latter case, when the spirit of evil predominates on earth, it can become extremely dangerous. Divide et impera is a Latin motto which means divide and rule. This is the first way the evil forces operate. In fact, if the good, the real good, not the fanatics, who are at the service of evil even if they claim to personify the voice of God, because they themselves in premise divide people. In any case, if the good were honestly more adherent and cohesive in their dialogue and honest connection to the divine, they would create a more solid balance towards the evil forces through generating a better energy field. If you remember, Jesus said, "Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I among them." Matthew 18:20. Before concluding, I want to mention something to reflect upon. I found some kind of similitudes between this energy field I have just talked about and what Dr. Rupert Sheldrake, a British PhD biologist, calls the morphic resonance. He writes, "Morphogenetic fields work by imposing patterns on otherwise random or indeterminate patterns of activity." Right, these words explain the biology point of view about the matter. Nevertheless, you may note some interesting matches that I leave to you to reflect upon, reading his article, and I put the link in the description down below, together with the definition of egregore by Wikipedia.